You ever get that feeling that you're just playing a role? A role in a story you didn't even write? Like your life is being shaped by these forces you can't quite see? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden systems of control that write these scripts for us. And more importantly, we'll explore how we can learn to see them, understand them, and ultimately, take back the pen and write our own narrative. All right, let's get into it.
See, these are the pre-programmed mental routines that tell us what to expect and how to act. And you can probably relate to this. I think back to school. I was always trying to be genuine, but somehow I was always the first pick when it was time for someone to be the butt of a joke. It's like I was cast in a role, running on a script I never auditioned for. And believe me, these scripts, they go way, way beyond the schoolyard.
And that's the big question we're tackling today, isn't it? If we're all running on these invisible scripts, then we have to ask, who's the author? Is it our parents, society, or something a little more complex? This is where the journey begins, really. Moving from just unconsciously accepting it all to consciously waking up.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. We're going to go from that personal feeling, that sense of being cast in a role you didn't choose, and scale it up to the much, much bigger concept of societal programming. It starts small, but it grows in ways that are kind of hard to spot at first. Think about it. From a really early age, systems like school can kind of overshadow free, creative, individual thought. You learn to hide in the background because you're a daydreamer, or you're taught to second-guess your own gut feelings because they don't fit the norm. We're subtly, constantly pressured to conform, to just follow a script that values fitting in over standing out.
Now, what's really fascinating about all this is how it's done. So let's pull back the curtain a little further on the actual mechanics of control. We're going to look at the specific psychological tools that are used to just bypass our critical thinking and, overwrite our internal narratives.
Okay, so check this out. This technique, which was first detailed by L. Ron Hubbard and later picked up by the CIA, basically floods your brain with confusing information. When your mind is totally confused, it's kind of like you're falling. It desperately scrambles to grab onto the first solid logical thing it hears. And what does that do? It makes you more suggestible, way more open to accepting a new narrative without even questioning it.
Have you ever been scrolling through your social media feed and felt this? You see a super fun video. Then bam, a really scary or depressing one. Then something hopeful. Then something that makes you angry. That right there, that's fractionation at a massive scale. This emotional roller coaster keeps your brain off balance and, yep, you guessed it, makes you more programmable. It's not just random content, folks. It is emotional engineering.
And this Chomsky quote just nails the next layer. The very words we use are part of the script. As he points out, in the United States, a word like libertarian has been twisted to mean the exact opposite of its original definition. Now it's used to describe someone who wants unaccountable private power, not freedom. When words themselves lose their meaning, clear thought becomes almost impossible.
So, let's be really clear about this. The whole point of these techniques is not about having a debate or trying to persuade you. They are not designed to help you find the truth. The goal is much, much simpler and way more direct. It's to dismantle your internal logic and just override it with a new one. Period.
Okay, so we've seen the psychological tools. But where do these scripts actually get put into practice? Let's look at the concrete systems, the financial, legal, and political structures that really govern our day-to-day lives.
Just take our financial system. It feels like it's been here forever, right? But as you can see, it was built, piece by piece, and a lot of the time, it was to fund conflict. By moving from little local IOUs to a single federally controlled dollar, a powerful script was written. A script that says, your value, your work, your time, it's all measured and controlled by this one central system. It's a script so pervasive, we're basically trained from birth to just accept it.
And then you've got the legal system. Its promise, what it says on the box, is fairness and due process for everyone. But, as we see in a lot of politically charged cases, it can be seen as a tool to shut down dissent and create bias. Or look at something like guardianship. It's designed to help people who can't make their own decisions, but it also holds the power to completely strip an individual of their rights. You see, the promise of a system and its potential for control are really just two sides of the same coin. Okay, so we've looked at the problem from a few different angles, but this is not about getting depressed, it's about empowerment. This is the turning point. After understanding the scripts and the systems that enforce them, the real question is, how do we get our own story back?
This right here is the million-dollar question, and it frames the solution perfectly. It's not just about defending yourself from being controlled. No, it's an active, creative process. It's about becoming the author of your own life.
So how do we actually do it? Well, Chris Heuer introduces this really powerful idea called personal intelligence. And the concept is pretty simple. Your lived experience, all of it, the good, the bad, the weird, is an asset. It's not just a bunch of random stuff that happened to you. It's something you can consciously curate, shape, and then use to navigate the world on your own terms.
So here's a basic framework. First, you start curating your experience. You start treating your personal wisdom, even your digital footprint, as a valuable asset. Second, you own that narrative. You do it through active expression, like writing, which is a powerful way to connect what's going on inside with your actions outside. And third, you have to consciously unlearn old programming. That means actively questioning your automatic reactions and choosing to operate from a place of intention, from self-awareness, instead of just running on that old, pre-written script.
You know, when you start this process, something really amazing starts to happen. You stop being on the defensive all the time and you start being creative. You're no longer just reacting to the world's scripts, you're actually tapping into this deep well of potential inside you. And a huge piece of this is reframing your inner struggles. It's not about trying to destroy your devils or your doubts. It's about understanding them, letting them teach you something, your pain, your flaws. They aren't mistakes in the code. They're the cracks where the light was always meant to get in. And really, this is the ultimate goal, to see yourself not as a reflection of all your doubts, but as a mirror of your own untapped potential. To remember who you really were before the world handed you a script and told you who you should be. It's all about rediscovering your original sovereign self.
So how do you stay on this path? Well, the ultimate tool for sovereignty isn't having all the answers. It's learning to ask the right questions. It's about staying curious, constantly probing, and never, ever blindly accepting the script that you've been handed.
So the final takeaway here isn't to follow some new leader or buy into a new system. The real call to action is to turn inward. This journey, it's yours, and yours alone. It's about taking back that pen, finding your own voice, and becoming the author of your own incredible story.